Hello again, and if you've seen any of my previous YouTube videos, you'll know that I think there's only three watch tiers. There's cheap and cheerful, below around £300. There's mid-range, which go up to about 3,000, and beyond that, at the top end, you've got luxury, which is Rolex, top-end Omegas, and so on. And if you're someone with one or two watches down here in the cheap and cheerful range, such as, say, a Seiko SKX, then maybe you're thinking about going up market, getting something in the mid-range, and maybe one day ultimately getting your grail watch at the very top end, which let's say could be a Submariner non-date. Now, since I can't do overlays on this particular editor, we'll go with the old-fashioned way of doing things, and that's with a little picture, which I'll put up there, of a Submariner non-date. So if you're that person with, say, a Seiko SKX, and you're looking to get that next step up the ladder, you could be thinking I could go for something like a Longines Hydra Conquest. They're around £790 retail, but you can get them easily discounted down to about £670. And that seems quite a step up from paying, say, £250 for a Seiko SKX 007. Or you could spend a bit more and go for, say, a Norris Aquis. They're £1,200 retail, but again you can get them grey market for about £1,100, or on eBay only a few weeks old for around £800. Or perhaps you want to go a little bit high still and go for the top end of mid-range, which would be, say, a Omega Sea Dweller 41mm. They're about £2,700 new. Or the very popular Tudor Black Bay. They're around £2,500 at the moment. But still it seems like a hell of a jump from, say, £200 or £300 up to £2,500 or even £5,000 at the top end there. So it's very common for folks to want to step up this hierarchy step by step to get more and more expensive watches as the years go by. Now my problem is, particularly if you're buying new in the mid-range, you lose so much money as you trade up that surely there must be a better way. So if you're in the cheap and cheerful range at the moment and your grail is, say, a Rolex Submariner or any other sports watch in the Rolex range, then perhaps it could be a good idea, perhaps it might be a good idea to go out and take that free credit and get that grail watch straight away, rather than working your way up step by step and losing money on each step. However, I would add one proviso to that recommendation, and that is to build up a big deposit first. So for a £5,000 Rolex Submariner, I'd say your deposit should be at least £1,000. And the reason for that is that if things went south, if say you lost your job or you suddenly needed the money and you had to sell the watch, with that £1,000 of equity in the watch, no matter what happens, it's very unlikely it's going to depreciate by £1,000 by the time you paid off that watch. Therefore, you've also got that security of being able to sell the watch, walk away and have no debt if needed, rather than having to sell a watch in the mid-range that may only be worth 30 or 40% of what you pay for it and still having debt on that watch. So a slightly unusual recommendation, but something to think about. And there's one more good reason why you might want to go directly to the grail watch from where you are now. And that is, over the years it might take you to save up the money to get to where you want to be or work your way up through these ranges. The cost of that Rolex watch would have gone up, maybe by £1,000, maybe by more, whereas if you bought it now on free credit, any increases don't matter to you. In fact, they may well be a good thing because it'll increase the price of your second-hand watch. So advising someone to take on debt to buy something that's not really necessary is not really a good idea. But in this limited case where you're buying a Rolex sports watch, it could well work out to be the cheapest option in the end. Anyway, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching, and cheers.